it's the ghost of John Paulus wishing everyone a happy Halloween if you celebrate Halloween. If you don't, then just stick around anyway for this episode where we talk about what is a trick for developing digital content that will be a treat for your audiences. Ooh. Hey there, thanks for listening today. You're listening to Life's Potluck Buffet. I'm John Paulus. The ghost of John Paulus is out of here. He's got a lot of work to do today on Halloween. And so today's question is, what is a trick for digital content development? For those of you who celebrate Halloween and know about Halloween, it's, you go to somebody's house or door and you say trick or treat, right? You're dressed up in your costume and you're getting candy or whatever thing usually. I don't know that anybody doles out tricks these days. I wonder if anybody does. If you do, let me know in the comments and tell me what the trick is. Okay, so let's ask the cards, what is a trick for digital content development? Here we go. So I am going to shuffle the deck in my normal ritual way. Today it's extra spooky how I'm shuffling it because these cards have extra power on Halloween, and, they're pretty powerful every day. Here we go. So I did that. I am going to back away from the microphone to shuffle for the final time. Whoops. Oh, they almost went all over the place. Something's there. Their power is increased today. That's clear. They almost went all over the place. Okay, now I'll cut the deck. And we'll see. Cards, what is a trick for digital content development? Here we go. Compose a short inscription for yourself. Oh, card 27. Okay. I'll read you card 27. Know yourself was one of the inscriptions on the sanctuary of the Greek god Apollo in ancient Delphi. You could go to modern Delphi in Greece today. It's a nice sight in the mountains there. Lovely. There were others too, like nothing too much, and a mysterious one, a single Greek letter epsilon, just an E. The letter looks like an E in English. Instead of meditating on ancient inscriptions, create one for yourself and explain what it means. Okay, so what trick do we have here for digital content development? Well, I think here the cards are trying to tell us to have a theme or identity, have a clear, brand, have a clear approach. All of these sayings like nothing too much or know thyself, those are approaches. And so having a clear and singular thing that you're doing is a really good trick for producing digital content that is consistent and good. So I think that's the main tip, is to create a what can we call this? Development idea here. I think I would come up with the idea of an approach. So, that can be anything from a particular topic that you focus on to a particular aesthetic, a way things sound and look for your audience. And that can also be an outlook that you're promoting. And any of those and all of those together at the highest level, it's a combination of all of those things. So having something that you talk about, and it doesn't need to be so, if you remember yesterday's episode when I was talking about storytelling, and the same holds true for digital content development, I feel that the less pressure that you put on the situation, the more likely that it is going to be easier and kind of better, right? It'll flow more easily if you stick to what you know or what you want to find out. Those are ways that are like true to you. And I think that that's the main thing here when you're going about coming up with the, let's call it identity, brand, outlook, approach, whatever you want to call it. It being authentic to you is the key element here. So I think that authentic approach starts from a letting go. And, this is what we talked about on Life's Potluck Buffet again and again and again. All of this is about liberation. It's about freeing ourselves, in a sense, for ourselves, which we don't usually think of that. We think of like freeing ourselves from ourselves, freeing ourselves from other things, other people, whatever, or other ideas. But in a sense, the most difficult thing in professional and personal development is freeing yourself, because we can create habits that are kind of traps for us. And I think that like the same applies for digital content development. When you are able to be liberated and just be like, I'm just going to do this thing, and see what happens, see what sticks, see if the audience responds. Remember, yesterday we were talking about audience response. That's a key element to this, because the audience responds when the audience sees you at your best, when the audience sees you doing something that they can see that liberation. That liberation is visible. We don't think of that often. We always think, liberation is something inside. It's a feeling. But liberation, you can see liberation. We've all seen it. And we've seen people at their best, doing their best. And so I think that is a key thing. And, the cards, the Life's Potluck Buffet cards are great for freeing yourself, coming up with new ways of thinking. Every card almost has a new way or unfamiliar way of thinking. There are a few that are familiar, but by and large, the cards have kind of contrarian takes, opposite takes on kind of advice that's generally given. So, and they come from a lot of experience. So they're not just, doing the opposite for the sake of doing the opposite. It's doing the opposite for the sake of doing something that's going to help out a lot. So that is, something that might help free you. And you can look back at the episodes of Life's Potluck Buffet and see some of the topics talked about and things like that, and maybe that'll help you get liberated. And that's really the key, because knowing what the content is almost 100% a matter of being free. In the world of Life's Potluck Buffet, that's what it is. It's just being. It's doing what you do, and only you do, uniquely you. And that makes it very special. Then the second part of this is seeing what people react to in that content and seeing what people take away from that content, and focusing on continuing to do that. And with practice, like I was saying yesterday, with practice, everything will get refined and work out just beautifully. So there's a trick for this Halloween for digital content development. If you have any tricks that you use, maybe you go to, you search under something and see what trends are. Maybe you just see something out in the, in the world, and you say, oh, I need to talk about that. Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear. And if you are enjoying these episodes, please subscribe. And of course, give this one a thumbs up. And I'll see you next time on Life's Potluck Buffet. And I hope that today on Halloween, that everything is a treat for you, and that all of the tricks are also treats.